quick little preamble. I'm sure that you guys have heard this before, but we just want to remind everyone that we are always striving to create a positive environment, whether we're meeting in person or virtually. Please remember that the Athlete Code of Conduct is to be observed whenever we are participating in SOO programs, and we specifically want to remind everyone to avoid any profane language or disruptive behavior, and to always honor the athlete's oath. In order to make sure that we're hosting these sessions enjoyably for everyone, we're going to be doing 3 best practices, which include recording the session, which has already begun, but it won't be shared with anyone else. It's just for internal use. Please make sure to use the chat for questions and positive comments as well. And then please remember to mute yourself when you're not speaking, to not interrupt others when they are talking. Anyone that does not follow these rules will be spoken to and may be removed from future virtual events. And again, we just do this so that we have created an enjoyable experience for everyone. Maria, you have a quick question.
Yes, I do. I won't be here May 20th because I'm going to London, England, and Romania.
Oh, nice. That'll be a really fun trip. But yeah, no worries. Yes. Thanks for letting us know.
Well, very welcome.
And I see some comments. I never do negative talk. You're all great people. Not saying anyone isn't. We're just putting that out there. So, all right, guys. So without further ado, I'd like to welcome 2 of my colleagues for today's session, Amanda and Teresa from the University of Ottawa, who are excited and ready to run a cooking session for you guys. So I'll hand it over to them for a quick presentation, and then we will send it. Amanda and Teresa, over to you.
Awesome. Thanks, Ryan. Hi, everyone. It's really nice to meet with you today. Thanks for coming out to our cooking session. My name's Amanda. Let Teresa introduce herself.
Yeah, my name's Teresa. I go to school with Amanda. We're super excited to see you all today. We're going to have some fun cooking at the end. We're going to go through a couple fun facts and interesting slides just real quick at the beginning.
Okay, I'm just going to share. Okay, I think we're good to go right now. Okay, so welcome everyone to our nutrition and diet workshop. So we're going to talk today about the importance of heart health. We're going to talk a little bit about meal planning, grocery shopping, and then we're going to get into cooking some recipes with everyone.
So here's our character. His name is Tommy. So he's a little boy and he's an athlete who wants to learn how to keep his heart and his body healthy. So today we're going to see a couple ways that we can keep both our heart and our body healthy. Okay, so first we're going to open it up to you guys actually. So do you guys have any ideas how we could keep our hearts healthy? And feel free to write them in the chat or to raise your hand. Yeah, Lisa?
A good way to keep your heart healthy, obviously eating healthy, but the main thing is getting a lot of cardio exercises, at least once a day for at least maybe 20 to 30 minutes a day at the most. And if you can do an hour, that's great.
Yeah, that's awesome, Lisa. So you picked on 2 super great points. You said the exercise, which you're absolutely right, we should do every day. And then you said eating healthy to keep our heart healthy, and used a really good word too. You said cardio, right? Which is very important to do every day. So well done. That was great. I see Paige, you also put exercise in the chat. So that's great. And Claire, you said veggies and drink a lot of water every day. So that's awesome. I agree. Veggies are really good for the heart, and so is water. It helps our heart work.
And fruits are too.
Exactly. Well done, Renata. So fruits and veggies. So we want to eat healthy. We want to exercise and drink lots of water, right? You have an Italian diet? Oh, that's neat. I think Amanda's Italian.
I am. It's a great diet.
Nice. All right. So we can move on to the next slide for now. Oh, go ahead, Jonathan.
So I do eat Italian diet because they say the Italian is like Italian is like health food. So that means it's like some of the parts of Italy, they have everything to do with omega-3.
Yeah, that's true. Omega-3 and all the vitamins are really important, right?
Yeah, so that means it would do for the heart and the cardio. And then it's for the heart and the cardio and the brain.
Yeah, exactly. Well done. That was really good. Really important too. Good job, Jonathan. Nice. And I see in the chat, Claire put good sleep and less stress, and that's super good. Less stress and good sleep are super good. Perfect. Okay, so I'm just going to briefly talk about what the heart is in our body. So it's actually the pump of our body. So if you think of what a pump does, when you squeeze a pump, it basically pushes all the blood around your body. And you can see on the picture here, the little guy has the heart on his left side, and that's because the heart is on the left side of our chest. So sometimes if you put your hand on it, sometimes you can feel it. If you put your hand on your wrist, so on the side of your thumb, so you put your fingers on this side here, you can actually feel your blood pulsing because that's from your heart that's pulsing like this constantly. So that's actually how they measure your heart rate. They can measure it on your wrist like that. And then just a fun fact, the heart is about the size of your fist. So it's actually not that big, right? It's only this small. So it's this small right in your chest there. And when we exercise, our hearts beat faster because our body is working harder, right? Which is why it's also important to eat well and to drink enough water. That way our heart can beat faster when we're running and doing all sorts of exercise. Okay, so we actually already did that one. And then we were saying, what are the ways to keep our hearts healthy? And you guys were bang on, you named them all. So we said exercise is a big one. Another one is to laugh and stay healthy. So I think it was Claire said good sleep and less stress. That's exactly the same thing. So we want to laugh, stay healthy, and take care of our mental health. And the last one, which you guys already mentioned, is eating fruits and veggies. So basically eating healthy keeps our hearts healthy.
What about protein?
That's very good. That's a very good point, actually. So protein is also important for the heart because the heart is a muscle, right? So very good, Becky. I completely agree. So fruits, veggies, and proteins we should add in there, and drinking water.
Okay, so now that we did a quick little overview of the heart, we had a lot of great input on those questions that we asked. So another question that we have for everyone is, what are some of the benefits of planning your meals? Has everyone heard of the term meal planning? No? Okay. So we're going to go into this now, but maybe just think to yourself, what are some benefits of planning out your meals before you start cooking them or before you eat them? So one big thing is you can track what you eat. So when you plan your meals ahead, you can make sure you're making healthy choices. So, sometimes you can be in a rush to have something to eat. If you have maybe a meeting to go to, or you have plans throughout the day. And sometimes when we're in a rush, we don't always make the healthiest choices. But when we plan our meals ahead of time, we can make sure that, we're having fruits and vegetables throughout the day. We're eating enough, we're eating the right foods, and we can just track what's going into our bodies better. We can also save time. So when we know what we're going to cook ahead of time, we can make cooking more efficient, and you can save time for things that you like doing, like playing sports, hanging out with friends, doing activities and attending events like this. And it also makes grocery shopping easier. So if you go grocery shopping, or if you have someone that goes grocery shopping with you, it makes it a lot easier when you know what you're shopping for, and you kind of look at your recipes ahead of time. And you can also make sure that you're not buying too much or too little, and you can help save money by just buying the right things that you need for those recipes. Yeah, Lisa, go ahead.
I was gonna say too, I do this with my my caregiver. We do is we plan. I have a grocery list. We do grocery counts in my place, and every 2 weeks when it's grocery shopping, we see what I have, how much I need, and then we see, okay, I need this, and then that way when we go to the store, it's one, it's healthy stuff, and two, we know what's within the budget.
Mm-hmm. That's a really important point.
And also too, on my own time when I'm cooking my meals, like for example, on Tuesdays I have bowling and I don't get home till like 6:30, 6:40. So whatever I have for dinner on Monday night, I plan and I make extra and I have it for Tuesday. So all I have to do when I get home is heat it up in the microwave and I can have dinner in about 10 minutes.
That's an excellent point. You know, leftovers are awesome. I love leftovers.
And it's healthy. And then I know it's healthy.
Mm-hmm. That's a great point. Thank you for sharing. Does anyone else have anything they'd like to share? Okay. So when we plan our meals, it's important to consider that we're incorporating all parts of the Canada's food guide. So we want to make sure that at least half our plate contains fruits and vegetables. So, you know, as long as you're getting kind of a mix of everything, just eat what you like, eat what tastes good, as long as you're able to kind of get all of your nutrients and your vitamins in the foods that you choose. Whole grains can take up a quarter of your plate. So we've got some pictures here of things like rice and bread, and then healthy sources of protein. So things like eggs, like shrimp or other seafood, and then meat. So maybe it's chicken, maybe it's pork, you know, whatever you kind of, whatever you prefer. Okay. So this is an example of a meal planner. This is something that you could kind of do on your own time and you kind of just plan out throughout the week. You know, this is what I'd like to have for breakfast, lunch, and dinner. And then if you can, you know, find some good recipes on it, then you'll know exactly what you need to buy for the week when you go grocery shopping. And, you know, the Special Olympics website actually has a ton of recipes. They're organized by different parts of the day, by different like dietary restrictions that you can go check out and get some recipes from. And that's actually where we got the recipes from that we're going to be using today. And so this is just another example of how you would plan it out day by day. So we had a list of the entire week of things that we wanted to cook and prepare. And this is something that we could use for the whole day. Yeah, Jonathan? I can't hear you. I think you have to unmute.
Actually, I do this kind of stuff every day.
Oh, you do?
Yeah.
Has it been working for you? Do you like doing it?
It's okay. I like I do like to do sometimes I do good cheese, or sometimes I would do all that stuff, like the food groups and all that stuff. Like that. That's
awesome. Thanks for sharing. Yeah, it does take some commitment to, you know, do it every day and every week and stick to it, but seems like it has a lot of benefits when you do stick to it. Do you agree?
Yes.
Yeah. Awesome. Okay. Okay, so grocery shopping. So we're going to open it up to everyone in the audience here. Can you think about any challenges that you can face when shopping at the grocery store? Yeah, Paige?
How things are more expensive these days, like meat and stuff, like on regular weekends, because I have such a busy more schedule now, it's much more like more things are expensive and stuff.
Yeah, I agree. The price of groceries has gone up a lot.
Yeah.
Jason, did you want to add to that?
Yes, knowing how much you spend, like knowing how much you need to spend money-wise.
Mm-hmm. And I think planning can kind of help with that, right? If you know all the things that you need, you might be able to estimate how much money you're going to spend that day instead of going without knowing, right? Thanks for sharing. Lisa, did you have something to add?
Yeah, I was gonna add one thing to Paige's there. I was gonna say price of groceries have gone up, so that would be one part of the challenge to make sure things that you need are healthy. but also I was gonna say, is that like, say when you like say from for example, but say you have to plan in advance with how much money you're gonna plan to spend in the store. So say if you have, okay, I have $100, for example, for one person, and then you gotta say, okay, well, I can go in the store, and then you have to kind of figure out, is this, can I get this and this and this? Make sure it's $100 under the $100, and it doesn't go over.
Mm-hmm. For sure.
That's what I mean by the budget thing, because that can be tricky too.
Mm-hmm. Do you have any strategies that you've used that you'd like to share?
Well, my caregiver helps me with that, because that's one of my things I need support with.
Right.
But I'm just saying, like when I'm out doing my own small stuff, my weekend stuff, where I get stuff that's not in my budget,
Mm-hmm.
and I buy it with my own spending money, like whether it's frozen fruit or it's other fruits that are on sale, like grapes or whatever. I kind of estimate in my head, and then when I get to the counter, then I ask, because it's sometimes the taxes, depending on what you're getting,
Mm-hmm.
it can be tricky.
Yeah, for sure.
So
Sure. Yeah, it really helps, I think, talking those things out with your caregiver or with a friend or whoever you usually go grocery shopping with, because
I go shopping. I go to Costco like all the time. So
you go to Costco all the time. Sorry, I can't see.
yeah, I'm on Christmas off.
Costco is great. Costco, I can get a lot of deals there for good food. It's just kind of overwhelming to shop there sometimes. I think.
No Frills, you can get good deals too. They usually have sales every week.
Yeah, that's another good way to
Yeah.
save money when grocery shopping.
Because Costco's good better because you get more like bigger projects. You like more stuff.
Yeah, for sure. Okay, so Tommy gets to the grocery store, but he finds it difficult to make healthy choices when buying his ingredients. So let's review some tips for reading nutrition facts tables. Teresa, did you want to go through this one?
Yeah, sure. So these are the kinds of labels that we see on the backs of a bunch of the foods that we buy, right? You guys are used to seeing it says nutrition facts, and it can be pretty hard to know what the different parts on it are. So we made this kind of infographic, or this page that's a little more visual to help you guys understand the different parts of it. And if you guys have any questions or anything to add, just let me know. But if you look at the first category, which is in dark blue, it says calories. So calories is the amount of energy that you get out of the food, basically. But the thing is, you want to be careful and not,
Excuse me.
right? Yeah, Liam.
I'm speaking about nutrition facts. So first of all, I'm eating roast beef. So
Oh, nice. You're eating roast beef?
yes.
Oh, that's super yummy. Nice. So yeah, we were saying calories is the amount of energy that we get out of the food, which is the dark blue one, and it's the first one in the table. The next one, which is like the orange or yellowish orange color in the table, that's the amount of fat that we have in the food. So this is something that we don't want a high number in. So if a food says like 50% fat, that's not good. We want the lowest percentage of fat in those ones. So you see total fat, saturated fat, all those ones, cholesterol, you don't want those numbers to be high. And after that, we have in red, we have sodium. Does anybody have any idea what sodium is? You might say it on the screen. Yeah, Jason?
Salt.
Yeah,
Salt.
very good. Perfect. I see Claire and Jonathan put it also in the chat. Good job, all of you. Good job, Jason. Sodium is salt. So it tells us how much salt we have in the food there. And oftentimes we tend to eat too much salt. So I would say we should watch out and make sure our food doesn't have too much salt, because things like chips and crackers can have quite a bit of salt in there. And too much salt can be bad for the heart. So that's just something to watch out for. After that, the purple category, carbohydrates, or we call them carbs for short. That's basically fibers and sugars. So under carbohydrates, you can see fiber and sugar. Fibers are basically good carbs, and then sugars tend to be the not so good ones because we eat a lot of sugar usually in a day. But we still need some sugar. So I'm not saying don't eat any sugar, just try not to eat too much. And I see Claire put pickles have salt, and Maria also said salt. So very good. And yes, pickles do have quite a bit of salt. And then we're almost done. Proteins is in the kind of turquoise color. So proteins help keep our muscles strong, like we said at the beginning. And like we said at the beginning, proteins are super good for the heart too, because the heart is a muscle. And then the easiest category is the green one at the bottom. So anything under the dark line that's in green, those are all good things. So like vitamins, calcium, iron, anything at the bottom of the table tends to be all the really healthy things that you want. And what could be a food that has lots of vitamins? What types of foods do you guys think has lots of vitamins? Jonathan put chocolate milk is good for the body. Chocolate milk apparently is good when you do recovery, I've heard, because it has like sugar in it and the calcium's good. Yeah, Lisa, fruit. Fruit has a lot of vitamins. Maria?
Orange juice?
Yeah. Yeah, so orange itself has a lot of vitamins. That's true. When we drink orange juice, sometimes juice has a little more sugar. Well, has more sugar than the fruit itself would have. So orange juice has a lot of vitamin C, but also has quite a bit of sugar. But yeah, very good. Yeah. And then I see Zach put carrots, oranges, vegetables. That's great. And Claire said oranges, vitamin C. Exactly. Lisa put fruits and veggies. Perfect. And Jonathan put bell peppers. I agree. Bell peppers are very healthy. All right. Yeah, Lisa.
I was gonna say, just caught my mind when you said this, but I was gonna say, I was told that having juice is okay, but having a piece of fruit, whether it's an apple or an orange, is actually better for you because one, it's natural sugars, no extra added sugar, and you're also getting the fiber that your body needs as well.
Yeah, that's exactly it, Lisa. So exactly like Lisa said, I'm 100% agree. So the real fruits that we eat, like you said, have the fibers and have natural sugar, which makes them better for us. When you drink juice, it still has the vitamins, but then it sometimes has artificial sugar and it has pretty much no fiber in it. So it's not as healthy as eating the real fruit. All right. Okay, so this is an example of a grocery list that you could make. This is an example actually for the items that you would need to make the kale crisps recipe. So for this one, for example, you would buy the bunch of kale leaves and it would be about $4 in, let's say, the produce department, and you'd buy one bunch versus, and then you have like vegetable oil. You would buy the whole bottle here because if you've been to the grocery store, you know they sell vegetable oil like in a whole bottle, even though to make the recipe, you only need 2 teaspoons. But that's okay because vegetable oil stays good for a long time. So we just leave it in our cupboard for later, right? And then the Cajun spice you can buy as well. And just like for the vegetable oil, you don't need the whole bucket, but they only sell it in like a pretty big container. So we would keep the rest for later and it stays good. You could leave it in the cupboard. We'd only use about 2 spoons of that as well. This is a picture of all the ingredients that we use to make the kale crisps. I think you guys have the recipe in a PDF somewhere. We'll go through it at the end as well. Yeah, so that's what it looks like at the end. They're pretty crunchy. Also, if you don't have Cajun spice, that's okay. You can use basically salt, pepper, paprika, and oregano to make it. So if you weren't, because I wasn't able to find Cajun spice at my grocery store. So if you couldn't find it like me, that's fine. Yes, Lisa?
I have a question. Can I use olive oil? Because I don't have vegetable oil, but I do have olive oil.
Yeah, olive oil should work as well.
Just asking because vegetable oil is pretty expensive.
Yeah, I agree. Vegetable oil can be pretty expensive, and olive
Did I
oil
already print-
will work as well.
Oh, olive oil will work?
Yeah, it will work.
Okay, thank you.
No worries. And it's a good question, actually. Yeah, olive oil is good, Jonathan. Nice.
Okay, so the bow tie pasta has some more ingredients than that, but we'll just go through it together. The couple things that I wasn't able to fit on this list were salt, pepper, and olive oil, but those were kind of part of the first recipe, so I thought I would just mention it, but those are other things that we'll need in this recipe. But the bigger things was the bow tie pasta itself. So that was about just over $2. The quantity that the recipe calls for is 125 grams. And that's just a roughly a third of like the box when you buy it. So usually it's okay to just estimate, and you can just use that. Yeah, I see a hand, Renata.
We're going to go eat dinner. I'll be right back.
Pardon me?
I'm going to go eat dinner. I'll be right back.
Okay, sounds good. The next thing on the list is white beans. So you can get that for just over $1. Red pepper. You can use, the recipe calls for half of it, but I used the full one and it was still fine. Baby arugula, that kind of comes in a box. Most of them are pre-washed, which is great because you don't have to worry about it being dirty before you use it. Walnut halves, you can just buy that in a bag. Sometimes it comes in a box. Sometimes you can weigh them out. So it can be about $5, but some bags are bigger than others. So you can just buy as much as you need because you only need 2 tablespoons of crushed walnuts for this recipe. And then garlic, when you buy just like one garlic itself, it can be about 50 cents. But if they come in packages together, it can be more expensive. But for this recipe, you just need 1 clove of it. So the whole garlic is made up of a bunch of cloves. You just break off 1 clove, and that's all you need because you're going to chop it up anyway. And then Parmesan cheese, at the end, it comes in a big container, and then you just need a little bit to sprinkle in. Okay, so here are some pictures from when I was cooking the recipe. This was the end product, but here's some things like, this is the bow tie pasta. That's just another name for it. The arugula, the beans, here's my 1 garlic clove, my cheese over here, the pepper, the walnuts. This is salt, just that just came into a big box, and pepper here. Okay, so now it's time to cook some recipes. I'm gonna stop sharing my screen. Okay, so we have 2 recipes to go through. What we can do is break off into groups. So if you want to do, I think we have a poll set up that Ryan's gonna explain, but we're just gonna see who wants to do what recipe. So I'll pass it over to Ryan to explain that.
Yeah, so I actually have a question for everyone because I know some people have wanted to go to their house meetings and we're a bit of a smaller group. Would everyone prefer? Would you guys rather go into the breakout rooms and watch the cooking videos and stuff like that, or would it be easier if I send them out afterwards and then you guys watch them and then like let us know your feedback on them? What would everyone like to do? Problem at all. So what I'm going to do then is I'm going to open up the breakout rooms. You're going to have your option of which room you want to go into. So for either the crisps recipe or the bow tie pasta recipe, you can pick which room you want to go into. And then once we're done watching the videos, then we'll come back in here. We'll wrap up. That's where you'll get your code for today. And then, yeah, we'll go from there. So I'm going to open up all the rooms. And again, you'll just click on the button of the room you want to join. All right. So you guys should see a button pop up. The code word is recipe for your RYC points. So make sure to just write down recipe and you're good to go. But yeah, besides that, we hope everyone had a great time tonight. Thank you for joining us, and we'll see you at the next event.